Well, hello everyone. It's about 1:30 p.m. Saturday, January 11th, and I wasn't planning to make a video today, but I've decided to do it because we got some shocking news. A little while ago, I was sitting up here reading a book review that I just wrote. I just finished reading Sherry Frankie's book, The House of My Mother, about Ruby Frankie and Jody Hildebrandt. And I'd just written a long review of it, and all of a sudden I heard my husband go, "Oh no." And the way he said it was, I knew something was wrong. So I asked him what happened, and he was crying. And he said, Tev. It was a friend of his that he used to work with when they were both in the army. Evidently, yesterday, his friend, Tev, ended his life. And it was a big shock. So we've been sitting here talking about it. And it reminded me of the video I made a few days ago titled, Most of You Will Fail This Experiment, or something along those lines, where I basically challenged people to listen actively to others. I'm not really sure what happened in this case. I wasn't a very close friend of his. I knew him. I met him. He always seemed like a very outspoken guy with a really great sense of humor. And I noticed that he got into arguments with people on social media. And I think we did not have the same politics. So we didn't really follow each other, even though we were friends. But my husband really, really liked him, had a great deal of respect for him. And even though my husband was his boss when they worked together, I think that he had, he really, really liked him a lot as a friend. And so we're a bit shocked. And this is the third time in the last 3 years my husband and I have had to talk about somebody that we've known who has exited life in this manner. Two of the people were friends. The other was somebody who was stalking me. But that's a story for another day. I'm not really sure why I'm talking about this here. I guess I just want to reiterate how important it is to listen to people. Because we don't listen to people enough. Well, there's too much fake friendships. Too many people are it's like we've sort of lost the idea of real friends. My husband and I grew up in a time when all your communication pretty much was done face to face. And you had a lot of nonverbal communication that would help you talk to other people. And now it seems like everything is done online, and you're friends with people on social media, maybe if you're following that, and you're not really friends with them, and they don't really pay attention to you or your life. You just have a finite number of friends who know nothing about you and don't pay any attention to you. And oftentimes, as I mentioned in my other video about this, we ask people to reach out when they're feeling upset or alone. But people don't really pay attention or listen. I'll give you an example. I made a very vague post about this. I just said another veteran has ended their life. And I got a message from somebody that I had known in Stuttgart. And we had been Facebook friends for years now, but we don't really talk to each other. And I think it has a lot to do with the fact that I think she's a bit more conservative than I am. And we've had arguments about things like abortion, and I'm very much pro-choice, and she's very much pro-life. But we were friends, you know? And she says, oh, did this happen in Stuttgart? And I said, no, this was somebody that my husband knows from the States. And by the way, I don't live in Stuttgart anymore. And she sent me a private message, and I gave her a few more details, and she said, I didn't know you moved. Yeah, I've lived in where I'm living now. I've been here for 6 years. But we were friends, right? You have a lot of friends on Facebook or Twitter or Blue Sky or whatever it is you're following, but they're not really friends. And this guy that my husband knew, I think really did have a lot of genuine friends. But I think maybe offline he was very much alone, in spite of having a wife and a son. And I probably had friends that he spent time with, but everybody was shocked by this. And my husband was pretty devastated when he heard about this. And I am less so because I didn't really know him very well, but I'm still always very sad when I hear about somebody who's just decided that it's not worth the fight anymore. And I say this even though I have these thoughts myself sometimes. It just must have gotten to a point where he just felt like there was nothing more he could do. But anyway, that's what's on my mind today. I hope you have a good Saturday. See you next video.